What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tinfoil and Tokens. It's Thursday. I only know that because I was recently informed that it was Thursday, and we have Tinfoil and Tokens. Oh, we got a banger tonight. Funny, like how conversations just seem to like naturally steer with each other. So I've been like deep in the AI conversation zone, and then Gary was having a space today about AI. Finally, not about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about AI, which was like legit. But we're not having some kind of ancient AI discussion without producer Cheney in the house.
Show off my diamonds like I'm signed by the rock. Ain't pushing out his baby's telly by the rock. Hey, yo, I been on. Bitch, you been con. Bentley tints on. Fendi prints on. I mean, I been on. X-Men been on. He keep on dialing Nicky like a picnic on.
Big up yourself.
What up?
Make sure you guys like and share and repost and hit your bells and thumbs up and all the things to help Al Gore's rhythm, because God knows he can't dance.
So how many? So last night I decided late, like midnight. I'm like, you know what? I want to have a conspiracy space, and I'm curious how many people texted you when I put the call out.
I saw some of them today, but at least like 4 or 5 people. And I thought it was going to be over. Like I thought I showed up too late once I got the message, and I was so glad that it was still going on.
No, because it's one of those things you're always telling me about, like injecting the astrology and other stuff, right? And oftentimes I do the subtle duck and sometimes not so subtle duck. And I was like, oh, I'm about to talk about get Cheney in here. It's an emergency. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, I'll just give you like the bad secondhand of what Cheney feeds me. So let's go.
I know I wasn't ready for the astrology question. I thought it was going to be like a crazy conspiracy, like Cheney, come talk about dragons under the Great Wall of China. Like I thought it was going to be. And so I was like, oh, okay, astrology. It took a minute, but it was so rad. There's always so many smart people on X Spaces that some girl in the room was like, no, actually, here's what's going on with these planets, and here's what's in. So it was perfect.
Yeah, no, the right subject matter expert always seems to land. Coming to us oddly from California, I think we've got OG Brooklyn in the house.
Remember, I've been the hard, you never this far. I'm in the limelight cause I run right. Time to get paid, blow up like the world. Remember, I've been the hard, you never thought that hip-hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight cause I run tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call the clip, same number, same hood. It's all good. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call the clip, same number, same hood. It's all good. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call the clip, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know, now you know, nigga. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. 50-inch screen, money green, leather sofa. Got 2 rides, a limousine with the show.
I was enjoying his song so much that I forgot to bring him on.
What's up, people? How we doing?
Oh, dude, I was gonna say, if I have to watch your introduction full-length feature and you don't show up, like, it's not gonna end well, bro.
Oh, I'm here. I am here. You know, it's a tough life I'm living. I'm sitting out here in 83-degree weather.
Your
Poolside.
audio quality is terrible, bro.
Oh man, you guys can't hear me?
You might have to come in without your earbuds. Maybe your earbuds are dying.
Yeah, you got your earbuds in?
Yeah. All right. Let me do that. I'll be back.
All right.
Get it fixed. Rah!
Well,
poor OG.
Jen's here.
Yay!
Man, I'm on the block, dodging death freeze. Fed snitch, quick traded souls for tech. Probes in the ends, leave verb erect. Parliaments are fast, lizard next get checked. Beat me up, fam, I'm the cosmic threat. Sources overhead, dropping green slime. Govs on their knees, it's abduction time.
Hey guys.
Hey there, good looking.
Hey babe, how's it going?
Oh, living the dream.
Hey Cheney.
Hi.
I'm over here blowing Cheney's text messages up.
Uh-oh.
Is it something I have to pay attention to?
No, I found randomly, and no one's talking about it as per usual. They ran this like bio defense thing. I actually tweeted it out. I think I sent you the tweet, but this like pretty much event 201 for a bio attack over July 4th, apparently. So I was like, no way, this is real. This is made up. Nope. For like sure as shit, full website, full report, full everything. And I'm like, is this like event 201? Because this is giving me some like and it was like for a SARS-CoV whatever virus. Like it's like way weird. Yeah, right there. National Blueprint for Biodefense.
Is it Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation at Johns Hopkins University, or are they being slightly more subtle than that?
Slightly more subtle, but there's a whole bunch of like ex-Congress people on there.
Wait, Joseph Lieberman's still alive?
I thought Joe Lieberman died.
Ooh. Yeah, dude, he definitely, right? He was like John McCain's Democrat butt buddy, right?
Pretty much. I thought he definitely died. Or maybe he used to be on the defense or whatever. I don't know.
And I thought Tom Ridge was in prison for molesting kids or something. Like, do I have this just all mixed up?
Maybe that's the people who used to be on the committee.
No. I'm saying the list. Anyway,
You can go to the website right there, Cheney.
All right.
On that tweet, I put the website.
Yeah, I just have to. It
So
clicks for me, but I gotta swap it for y'all.
as she gets it figured out. Oh, gee, how's it going in California? What are you cooking on out there?
Hey, can you guys hear me better now? Is that audio coming in better?
Much better.
All right. Yeah, man. It's been a wild couple of days, you know. It's a tough life, you know, guys. I'm sitting here poolside looking at the jacuzzi, the poker room, you know, the 10-bedroom mansion. It's a tough life, but someone's got to live it, you know?
Your commitment to sacrifice
Yes.
is unparalleled, sir.
It is. And, you know, I'm out here, you know, for business. I mean, like we're doing lots of big things, good things coming. So,
Well, I like to hear that.
yeah.
Let's freaking go. All right. So I guess we could start like while you get the Gen bio.
Yeah, I have it all pulled up.
Okay, let's go. Jen,
Yeah.
break it down for us.
So I haven't even really looked into it because I was like, has anybody else seen this? Like, I just came across this. I don't really know what it is, but like, this doesn't seem good.
Yeah, it's a pretty big link with a pretty extensive table of contents that might not be very exciting to
Scenario,
go through.
executive summary, biological threat.
All right, so I think we should probably go through. Like, it's kind of hard for us to do this in real time without.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean I was just telling you what I was working on. We don't need to do this now.
Yeah, no, just because I don't want like a bunch of dead air. And we've been talking. The kind of cool thing about tonight is we've been talking about this. So I feel like we've all refined our talking points and ideas around this. So, OG, I guess you're going to be like our normie test case scenario person here. All right, like get ready to come
Your
down.
sound's not on OG.
Oh, we can't hear him.
I can do that. Sorry,
OG.
I was on mute. Yeah, I can be your normie. I got you.
It's all right. If you're muted, we'll just get your facial reactions. They'll still be pretty funny.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, first question to OG: how old do you think AI is?
You know what? I actually heard some stuff about this. I think AI's been out since like the 1950s. That's my guess.
1950s. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Jen, how old do you think AI is?
I think AI is ancient. And I think it's always been here and they're just rediscovering it or tapping into it, or society has moved to a point where we could accept it.
All right. Cheney, remind me how time's not linear, so AI could be both past, present, and future.
Yeah, Vril. That's always what I think with ancient AI. I think it always has to go to the topic of Vril.
Oh. All right. Well, you can't just like throw that bait out there and then not give the people an explanation.
Vril, I believe, is like considered an ancient occult, like Nazi thing they were always searching for. And a lot of people think that the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus, with the little spiral that's coming down them, is actually proof of them putting a parasite in through the eyeball, and then it takes over behind the person, and the person just becomes kind of a empty vessel, and now the Vril is in charge. And so there's also people that theorize that the Black Eye Club that you see all the celebrities go through, that's their like Vril getting put in their eye.
Oh, so this is I love the Vril theory, right? Because this gets to like possession and shapeshifters and other stuff, right?
I mean, if we're going that route, like I think I really, after seeing a bunch of videos and people interacting with AI and some of the weird shit it starts to say, like, I don't know. I think AI might be tapping into something, or like something demonic or whatever in the spirit world. Like, I don't think it's just like some like computer program kind of thing. Like, I think it's something
All right,
else.
well, so I have a quick side tangent because you brought up Black Eye Club. I think that they beat Chuck Schumer so bad for allowing the Zohan to win the Democrat primary in his state. I think they overdid it so bad he had to go to the hospital. That's my current theory. What do you guys think?
I thought he drank too much and was hungover.
Oh no, it's definitely like they brought him into the Black Eye Club and everyone wanted to do it, and like now his like whole face is caved in. That makes sense, right?
I
I
feel
mean,
like he
or
could
he
already
just
be
ate
dead.
the hamburger patty, the raw hamburger patty with the cheese on it.
Oh,
Is
that's
he out, or is he still missing?
Oh, I actually have no idea.
Because if so, I think he could already be dead. But I believe they don't. Everything has to be on a very specific date, because they're all about rituals. So if they were going to have a state funeral for somebody like Schumer, then they would have it on a very specific time to take over the news cycle.
Well, so I just saw the consigliere who is moving his family to Retard Ranch, aptly named after he made his fortune in a little thing we called Retard Finder. Safe travels, Jay Pizzle. We miss you, bro.
Wait, he's like literally moving right now?
Yeah, now he's got like
Holy
the kids
driving.
and the U-Haul and shit. Like,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He's on a lesbian second date. He has
Hey.
a U-Haul and everything.
Listen, I gotta give him credit. He really is naming the place in Texas Retard Ranch. So, like the Big Iron Gate.
I
has,
mean,
like,
I just like
retard
want to
logo.
see his neighbors. Like, oh, who's this new guy from Jersey coming in? Oh wait, did he call his ranch retard?
He's gonna be mayor like before we know it. Like I have no doubt. But no, shout out to JP. So, all right, back to AI. So, because I've been just seeing a bunch of weird stuff, and so I always kind of preface this with, you guys know how paranoid I have become about everything. Like I basically, it happened in phases. But now I kind of believe like everything we've been taught is almost utter and complete horseshit. Right? And if it's not, we've been confined to only be allowed to think about things in like very narrow, restricted ways. And one of the things that like kept me from reaching that point for a long time is that I used to, in my head, justify that I could trust what I was reading about history. Because if I was reading about the Civil War, I could read it from the perspective of Lincoln and the Union generals and Union soldiers and Union widows. And then I could also read it about, right, from the perspective of Robert E. Lee and the Confederate generals and right. I could get all these different accounts of the same things, and they won't be contradictory. And I've never seen anybody be able to put like that complex of a story together without having blatant contradictions. But now the problem is like with the large language models, I'm actually kind of tempted to do this. Like, should we just, like, if we put a crew together and collectively created like a new world war that happened before the other world wars, right? If you did like the character charts and like what the key battles were and what the key like other points were, you know, it's crazy. Like, how long would it take us, do you think, to recreate like enough history for it to be like believable? And
Well,
now we can even add fucking pictures and shit.
Well, to your point, Dust, right? And I want to like connect two things because I had this interesting thought the other night. So we know that like the elites, right, have had the ability to look into the future to a certain point. And like the chronograph thing, right? And apparently like Tesla had his own version of the chronovisor, that's what it's called. Coronavisor, whatever. What if that is AI?
Definitely could be. Ark of the Covenant could be an AI. I think Tower of Babel was a server tower, right? That God had to like break down because when you think about what the story of the Tower of Babel is, it actually makes almost more sense that it was like a server tower, like computing power that had to be broken up and split up. So,
Or I mean, to the Tower of Babel, when they said like, oh, the way God split them up was to make them speak different languages. What if that meant like before that we all communicated telepathically?
well, maybe that, or maybe, right, it was different computer languages, right? So, like in crypto, for example, Solana runs on Rust, Ethereum runs on Vitalik's most retarded ideas ever. I can't remember what it's called. Right, but there's all these different languages that these different platforms are built on. What if it was about splitting the computer languages that run the simulation?
I think there's something to this because a lot of the people that believe in the mud blood theory, it's like there's a certain amount of energy that hit the entire grid at one time, causing all these massive buildings to kind of just melt on themselves. And that caused such where it wasn't a sea level flood. We always think of water being the thing that flood, but an actual mud flood. And because of everything just kind of melting off the face of these buildings. And so if you get into the idea of Babel being that, or somebody in the chat said Ren AI Sans, we get into these maybe great resets, but potentially the great reset adds more power to the simulation that we live in.
Right. Oh, and that would also be the moment you could add and like rework additions and subtractions, right? Like conceivably speaking. So, right, because it could explain the weirdness of the world fairs. And like, if you're not familiar with the world fairs conspiracies, OG, do you know about the world fairs?
I know about like the World Fair in Queens. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh man, buckle
Oh,
up,
Oh,
poor OG.
buckle up, my friend.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
All right, so here's the thing about the world fairs. When you go back and look at them, they make 0 sense. In fact, they are like the opposite of logical. So the official story we're told about what the world fairs are is that they built these incredible like architecture, structures, cities, right? That they held the world fairs in, and then people were introduced to electricity, and right, like Edison was doing his like light bulbs and like right, like showing everybody what's up. There's also all kinds of weird stuff about like babies, like they were like lots of really weird baby stuff.
Incubator babies,
Yeah, so
Cabbage Patch Kids.
but then what they say is they either tore down, right? So like they built all these things up, they say in like months, but we're talking like really intricate, like crazy architecture and structures. They build them up and then they all burned to the ground like shortly after the world fairs ended. And then don't they say now that most of them were just facades for the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
made of
just
like
from-
paper mache.
And then isn't the other thing too, like what? So Jen Chang, I know you guys. I'm missing like 100 parts that are crazy about world fairs. I'm gonna let you guys fill it in.
Yeah, it just seems like so during the World's Fairs in the 1850s, right? You go back and you look at pictures and they had full electric. Like the whole thing was lit up like freaking Disney World, like freaking Christmas, like big lights, right? They had moving walkways, like shit that did not like even get invented for sometimes even 100 years. So you're telling us that you randomly threw up these big buildings, which are like it looks like something out of Rome or like Versailles, right? Exactly. You're telling me that's freaking paper mache? You threw that up in a year, and then you had the World's Fairs where you had a
Stupid
Oh.
Starlink.
just until she comes back on, but like she was saying, walkways, like this entire thing, this is the late 1800s in Chicago, and there was a walkway around the entire perimeter because it was almost too far to walk, and it was everything about the same electric walkways that you have at the airport right now, except it went a slower speed toward the outside and a faster speed toward the inside. So it was like kind of like driving where you'd get closer to the inside if you were like, I'm not getting off until the exhibit way over there, so I'm going to take it to the inside. They also had the light, like she's saying, incubator babies, but there's tons and tons of hidden history that gets buried in these world fairs that some people think is technologies, that is free electricity, Zeppelin technology, electric cars, pretty much everything that would be considered Tesla technology. I don't want to talk too much if Jen's okay. Good.
Sorry guys. So one thing I want to add to this. So recently, and I keep forgetting to tell you all this, and it's been weeks, but so you know how like all of us have been talking about the Cabbage Patch babies, like the incubator babies, right? We're like, oh, Cabbage Patch was not like the cute doll in the 80s, clearly, right? All of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, all around Las Vegas, these random billboards about Cabbage Patch dolls started popping up out of nowhere. And everyone's like, what the hell? Like, why are there these Cabbage Patch dolls? And I swear to God, they do these things when you start talking about something from the past that, like, they don't want you to talk about, like Disney. Like, remember, we all found out that Walt Disney was like frozen, cryogenically frozen, right? And then all of a sudden, they released the movie Frozen. So then when you Google Disney Frozen, it was coming up the movie, you know, with Anna and Elsa versus like, yo, Walt Disney.
Oh, kind of like your name is Jennifer Lawrence.
Listen here, buddy.
I call that the Disneying of history. They do that with all the nostalgia. So they bury old fairy tales and then they Disney whitewash it. And it's funny that they did it with Frozen and Disney because we all grew up on the timeline Disney was Frozen. And so now if you actually look it up, the very first thing that comes up to you in the troll is Let It Go. So if you're trying to show someone, no, Disney is Frozen. Let it go, let it go.
Don't go down this path.
You look crazy right now.
No, so and mind blowing that's Chicago, right? Like, and you tell me that was paper mache or like no effing way. Like the whole story.
Or plaster of Paris, maybe that's what it is.
But JP brought something out like up in the comments and that I want to build on a little bit. So he's like, did you know that one of Donald Trump's Atlantic City casinos was called Trump World Fair? Like, no, I didn't freaking know that. I don't know how I didn't know that because that's some time traveler shit if I've ever heard it. And then let's not forget that starting on July 4th, President Trump has what? He's announced that he is bringing back
the World's Fair,
like a traveling World's Fair to go around the country. And right, I mean, think about. I'm somewhat limited what I could talk about because we have. You may not know this, but we have a giant 2-story, beautiful bronze statue of everybody's favorite president in a very iconic moment. And It seems like the kind of thing that could have some inclusion on certain things that would make sense. But how weird is it that as we're entering this AI phase, right? Where all of a sudden, and I guess part of my wild brain, right, thinks about this stuff where it's like, I see us create such realistic images and stories using AI. And then it feels like our history changes. And then when you really start to think about it, like, what if we really are like AI? We are writing our past, present, and future using AI like right now, right? If time's not linear, and now all of a sudden this AI is emerging, and all of a sudden the world's fairs are back. Like, are they about to like fucking zap our brains and be like, all right, well, you guys all need to go out to the World's Fair to relearn how to live in the newly rewritten society we have formed for you? All right, that's a little paranormal. I think
Part of
Cheney's
the
taking it.
like part of the meme magic a little is what Jen was saying is how are they all of a sudden talking about the Cabbage Patch this week when we were just talking about the Cabbage Patch? Because I think a little is happening of what you're saying is we're creating the zeitgeist in the moment now, as opposed to Hollywood creating the zeitgeist for us. They're all watching us. So we're actually creating the trends that they're following for the first time in our existence. So we're like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about this. Now everybody's talking about it because we're master manifestors who are creatures who create. And I think everybody's kind of slowly getting it.
OG, get to work out there in California, sir. Appreciate you. Love you, brother.
Love you guys. Have a good show.
Bye, OG.
Take care.
Pigs with the heads of men, spat acid that lays up my third eye closed like lancet. A midget in the casket like a baby in the bonnet with a bottle in the basset. Horn playing the theme song from Children of the Corn. Oh, I must be dreaming. A lady in the nightgown puffing, kush screaming. Signal me over, psst, you with the waves. I sing you from the Catholic church steeple digging graves. I got your number, sonny, so ain't no use in fighting, yelling, and running from me. I never ran, ma'am, whether you ain't a clever man, Sam. Listen, the two-faced king from Britain and Rome had a baby in the bush on the grassy knoll, where they peeled back the orange hair peel of a gnome. He said he MC, I know you like killing them. You terrorize the skies for 25 millenniums. Now you setting fire to land. You the lion, you the savior, the messiah, the lamb. You need backup, he moving on to you, that dog. Call Badu and get Tyrone on the megaphone. Tell him I sent you and your code name is Megatron. If trouble come, use your brain like a telephone.
Yo!
What up, everybody?
What's up, Augustus?
What's up, boss man?
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man. The Oracle of Delphi was an AI.
Great call. No, I love that part. By the way, we got canceled on preservation of the human race yesterday, but you had a great space today as always. Who are we working on next week?
We're actually gonna have next week a political candidate coming out of California. He's running for Congress. His name's Rob Lucero.
Nice. All right. You had Eric Hecker last week, and tell me if I generally have this right, because I was in and out. 'Cause I think we were out shopping and stuff. But I've been following Hecker since he first came out and blew the whistle about his time at the South Pole, a la Antarctica. But what he's blowing the whistle on in Antarctica isn't just like the potential for direct energy weapons and the death rays, but that like they've built this system into the ice at the South Pole that allows it to act as both a giant receiver and transmitter, right?
Yeah.
And so it could take in all kinds of frequencies and energies, and they can also like flip the switch though and direct that shit outwards.
Correct. Yeah. And, it's not only capable of targeting individuals, it's also capable of actually like creating, I'm thinking of the right word for it, but basically like natural disasters. That's it. Creating natural disasters. So earthquakes, things of that nature, um, are all like leading back to this particular situation. Like especially earthquakes in places that are not known to have earthquakes, right? So the ones in Turkey that kind of happened right around like a geopolitical um thing, those, you know, are suspected to be a product of this direct energy weapon, as well as the ones in New Zealand, where there's typically never earthquakes. You know, they all of a sudden get hit with a massive earthquake, all on like the heels of some geopolitical scandal.
Well, so and the reason I bring this up, right? So like in order for AI to be as powerful it is, requires energy that our current fake fossil burning, like fossil fuel burning energy production capacities just don't have the juice, if you will. But sure does seem like there the juice is available, and so like if you know where to look for it. And if we go back to Tesla, like at the end of Tesla's life, he was doing experiments in Colorado, right? And during those experiments, like he did one and he claimed that he could access and transfer unlimited amounts of energy through the earth and it was going to revolutionize the world.
Yeah.
And died shortly thereafter. And then Donald Trump's family came in and like cleaned up the records and started. I've been time traveling ever since. Do I have that basically right?
Yeah, you're on point.
Oh, go ahead, Jed.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, please.
Well, I was just. Can I go back to the World's Fair thing
Yes,
for a
please.
second? So what's interesting, right, is you have all of the kids that were orphans, right? You had the orphan trains across the US and everyone's like, yo, where did all these kids come from? Like, where are your parents? But then you also had those huge, extravagant, insane asylums, right? And in some cases, those became like the K through 12 education buildings in so many places in America. So the old insane asylums they made into our schools. Like that explains a lot.
No, so and this gets to all of the like forbidden hidden history. But I guess the part that I've been tripping out about with AI is from our perspective, history is whatever it's recorded as being to us, right? Like for whatever we took in and consumed when we went to school and other things, the history as it's recorded, as it's laid out, has a real impact on like what is happening in the present and what will happen in the future. And think about how easy it's now to manipulate like history. All right, so I've been think about how long I've been talking about wanting to build a great library. Probably better part of 2 years ish. So you know what I have a problem for? Like, what would I put in the fucking great library that I trust to be accurate information?
Right, you're gonna need to have like the current up-to-date JFK files. You know, you're not gonna have like the same old JFK story in there, for instance, as an example. You're
Or
gonna
you
want the
have both.
story where it's like you're gonna want the story where it's like the CIA killed him, you know?
Well, or you could have both, right? Because Dustin, like much to like what you and I have like represented this whole time, right? Is to like prove to people on a large scale that like, yo, they're lying to you. Right. So you have the official little old history books and stuff, right? You have AI, right? You present both things, right? And if AI is differing from what's written in the history books, Like, let people figure it out themselves.
Well, so Elon put out like earlier this week, and it's actually like one of the coolest like threads to go through and read through, because like, I'm pretty sure I left like 40 or 50 responses. So Elon announced that Grok is going to fix our history for us, you guys. Like, isn't that cool? Grok is going to go back and take all of our history and fix it up for us, so that like our history like is all better now. And as part of that, he put out like, tell Grok something that's true that makes people uncomfortable. Oh, great. You ain't ready for me, Grok. I'm ready to drop bows left and right.
Dinosaurs aren't real, but dragons are.
I may have even put that one. Right? I definitely put evolution as a scam. I definitely did I convincing people that they can change things by voting is one of the greatest psyop manipulations of all time, right? Like I like went crazy with it. But then when I was thinking about the Great Library, and I thought about that, what I came to is, bro, whoever, like, Elon is rewriting history and then taking control of like what other history can be shared, because everybody is now getting all their information from AI. Like your Google search, like your search results now are not what they used to be, right? They are literally like they are now utilizing AI to feed you the answers. This motherfucker is rewriting history and then making everybody adopt it. How much does that end up creating the reality, right? And so maybe maybe we had it all wrong with the Great Library. Maybe what we need to do is just full blown go batshit crazy, rewrite history in however we want it to be, and then build a great library that withstands and lasts longer than their others. And then therefore we have now rewritten the past, present, and future. Boom, game over, time travel.
All right, show's over.
That's really the goal. Like, so this all goes back to a conversation I was having a while ago with you guys about the Mandela effect. And my theory is that basically the Mandela effect isn't necessarily like a phenomenon. It's a side effect of basically memory implantation, weaponized technologies, advanced technologies, in order to rewrite history. And, you know, they start off with small things like, you know, oh, well, let's rewrite what, you know, people remember this as or remember that as. But what happens when it becomes something fucking major? You know, like you're talking about.
Like the Bible?
Yeah. Like the Bible, or, you know, I don't know, like World War II.
Right.
Or fucking, you know.
Or what if, so like one of the interesting things about founding documents, right? It's life, liberty, and what?
Pursuit of happiness.
Life, liberty, and the
property
of happiness. So that was taken almost verbatim. The original, like, creator of like that whole piece of philosophy, I believe it's Hobbes. I'm almost certain it's Thomas Hobbes, but I'm hoping I'm not screwing that up with one of the other philosophers at the time.
John Locke.
It's either Hobbes or Locke.
I want to say it's Locke.
It might have been Locke. It's either Hobbes or Locke. Either way,
we got to ask AI.
I think Jen's right.
Yeah, no, let's ask AI. let's let Elon's Grok decide what's real and what's not real. What could go wrong? But it was originally life, liberty, and property. Now, if you feel like about property the way I do, which is if you pay a property tax on your land, and if you don't pay that tax, somebody with guns comes and takes you away from that land, do you really own it, or are you just a renter?
You're just a renter.
Just a rent. Our right to property, right, would be, to be honest, fits better into like our understanding of what the Constitution is, in my opinion. which is if the rights endowed to us by our creator were life, liberty, and God, Jen always gets me again. God,
Woo, 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 woo,
ah,
woo, woo.
rabble. Right, but life, liberty, and property. Imagine how different society would be. Right, imagine how much harder it would be for them to implement all of these policies where I don't know. We all talk about the Klaus Schwab thing a lot, like World Economic Forum, where he's like, "You will own nothing, and you will eat the bugs, and you will be happy." But
Right.
we kind of right now don't own anything. Our material things are no longer built to last. Right? They build in these epochs so that like you have to replace your phone and your computer and your lights and your car and your paint and fuck everything else, right? Like you have to constantly be replacing it. It's not built to last anymore purposely. You're not allowed to have land that's yours unless you continue to pay for it in perpetuity. We don't really have a right to property, like in any real sense or any philosophical sense, right?
Right.
So what the fuck does pursuit of happiness mean? Can somebody give me an explanation of like, thanks to the fact that the words pursuit of happiness are in the Constitution, like, or Declaration of Independence. What's wrong with my brain tonight?
You've been on a lot of spaces.
I have. I've been like easing back into it, but
Yeah, you've been doing great.
what does fucking pursuit of fucking happiness mean? Right? That sounds like it was written by some fucking blue-haired liberal goofball who doesn't know what their gender is.
Well,
not the
I
fucking
think it was
founding
supposed to
fathers.
go with manifest destiny.
I think also
What'd you say?
I think it was supposed to go with manifest destiny and like the Lewis and Clark and westward expansion.
I think also is
Uh,
when every minority gets to vote in the United States under the federal government, that's when we take the biggest slides as a culture and as a whole. So you used to be able to only ground your vote is if you owned land to ground on. And now any idiot who got here yesterday, their vote electric energy to your land has just as much power as yours has. And so I feel like they've done a good job at getting people who don't deserve grounded out energy to have a bigger say so than the people that actually used to own the property. So changing property to pursuit of happiness was a liberal trope to give, oh, look, we let the blacks vote and the ladies vote. But really, it was never about that. It was they
Right.
didn't own property. So that's the biggest thing, in my opinion.
So right, but again, we were talking about Mandela effects a little bit. And like if you had the ability to go, right? If I've always thought with time travel, it's always more realistic that we could send information through time easier than it would be to send, like, for us to like go through a portal or get in the DeLorean and drive exactly the right speed when Doc tells us to at like during the thunderstorm.
mhm.
Right? But like quantum computing, the concept of being able to move information or change information in time seems like a lot more realistic, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Life, liberty, and property would mean that we would still have ownership of our land and of our things, right? The whole concept of a right to property is extremely critical to the foundational ideas that our country is built on. And if you were the bad guys, right, life and liberty are kind of like, right, can be applied to many, right? It's kind of broad reaching. Property is very specific. It's almost like the Second Amendment, right? Where it's like, you know what, like speech and religion and assembly, but also guns, motherfucker. Property is the guns, motherfucker, of like that trio, in my opinion. If they were going to go back and change something that would allow for the kind of centralized authoritarian control that we're dealing with, Name me something better. Like you would have to go back and change property to something else. And literally, it could be, to me, pursuit of happiness has the same value as unicorn farts.
Yeah, it's like a psychological operation almost being ran, right? Where it's like just you're being psyoped into fucking this idea, as opposed to anything actually tangible, you know? And it's been like weaponized against us in the 21st century, 100%.
So I watched this video the other day, and this girl had a Bible from 1857, I think it was. And people were like commenting in her comments, like telling her what verses to go look up. So someone freaking requested Revelations. I think it's Revelation 7:9. The one that talks about the mark of the beast, right? Well, in that version of that Bible, it said the mark is in your hand, right? Today's version says the mark will be on your hand. There's a little bit of a difference between in your hand and on your hand, or in your forehead.
I mean,
not on your forehead.
Our phones kind of do require, right? Like all of the things about the mark of the beast that you won't be able to transact, you won't be able to participate in society, right? Without the mark of the beast.
Well, and it has a half-bitten apple on the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's just this phone. The other one, actually, if it's a Google phone, it has a 666 on it because the Google logo is a 666.
What kind of retard has a Google phone?
Or any of the other, like, they all have like, not just the bitten apple. They all have some kind of symbol on them that would be a sigil of some kind of dark arts.
All right, I'm gonna put Augustus and Jen on the spot. Will one or both of you recite the Lord's Prayer to me? I just feel it's important to hear it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And then there's like some new age version where they added a little something at the end there, but I don't know that one.
Well, no, so the new age part of that is, for thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory now and forever. But that's not new age, right? It's just the difference from Catholicism. Like Catholicism doesn't have thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory now and forever, right? However, right, if you go and you look at the Lord's Prayer today, it says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive those who are debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. From thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory now and forever. Amen.
Augustus, you're right. You're a good Christian.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that version of the Lord's Prayer?
No.
I mean, probably once or twice, right?
Maybe, yeah.
But it's
I mean,
always
every time
trespass and
it's like,
trespassers, right?
Yeah, it's always trespass against us. You know, that part, yeah.
So one of the like craziest Mandela effect spaces we've ever done is like we noticed a couple things that didn't add up from like some Bibles we had. So we asked everybody in like the Spaces community to go grab their oldest Bible, have it on hand, and go find us some specific passages that we all remember. Who does the lion lay down with?
The lion lays down with, I don't remember.
The lamb.
Oh, the lamb. Yeah. Duh.
Right, but it's not the lamb. The lion lays down with the wolf in the presence of like the lamb or something, right? But I don't remember a freaking wolf. What you talking about? Lying down with the wolf.
Look, even the people in the comments are saying the lamb, bro. We're not tripping.
No, listen, go find the Bible, pull it out.
Well, some of the thing that I think is so interesting with Mandela effects is it's almost more proof that we're living in a reality that the history is changing under our feet by the winners of whoever's time traveling the best.
So that gets to my whole ancient AI theory, right? Which is, imagine if what we write as history and if time's not linear and what we write and accept as history is history. Imagine how crazy shit gets and how quickly. And there would be, like, if you went back and you rewrote some stuff, like, for example, right, you changed life, liberty, and property to the pursuit of unicorn farts and rainbows. And you changed the Lord's Prayer, instead of being forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, which in this society is so freaking important, right? Like the whole concept of like these crazy interest rates. Like when Jesus went into the temple and overturned the tables, that's a story about interest, right? The money changers wasn't like, oh, okay, like I'm really mad because you're converting your money to go use from this to this. No, it's because the money changers charged you interest on the right, like, and that's what Jesus was going after when he flipped the tables, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine if instead of like forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Imagine if it was debt and debtors, and that the whole concept of this insane interest-paying bullshit society we live in was, at least by the church, treated as sacrilegious. Imagine how different our world would be if, like, church would provide you a home mortgage at 0 interest. And as long as you're like a good upstanding member of the church and shit happens in your life, right? You were only responsible to the people like in your church and in your community. Imagine, can you imagine how different the world would be by that? Like how much you could change the world by making that one small change?
Yeah.
And
It would
something
be
that,
significant.
right? And something that's just repeated over and over and over again. I'll lay another one out. So like the one that like really got me on this, on Mandela effect, because I used to, right, we've talked about it being CERN and right time travel. For me, it was Fruit Loops. Right? Oh,
Did you really bring me in on Fruit Loops?
Oh, God damn it. Oh, just fair warning, you guys. Like, I expect the gloating from virus to be ridiculous and obnoxious. I noticed that you.
Yo, what was the price? What did it hit? What was the exact price?
Was I close?
Was it close?
Was I right? I don't know. What happened? I don't pay attention to the charge 24 hours a day, herpader. Anyway, we'll get to that because fucking time traveling virus fucking nailed it, like literally exactly again. God damn it.
Yeah, I think I was like 18 cents off.
No, and I was fucking ridiculously wrong and overly optimistic about what was going to happen.
No, I mean, as long as it's low leverage, you're right. You'll be right eventually.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll get to it though, but I want to finish the Fruit Loops thing, right? So Fruit Loops, I love that Nola used the proper usage, like FRUIT, right? All of us remember Fruit Loops as like Fruit Loops, you like the little toucan thing, like fucking selling us is like fake fruit that's really just high fructose corn syrup garbage. Now, I'm just going to set the scenario. The year is like 2040, and the General Mills and Kellogg's Corporation has just lost a $250 billion lawsuit because they called their sugary poison cardboard paste fruit. And somebody finally like put a class action together. I was like, no, and right, they lose big. And what's Fruit Loops do? Right, big corporation, access to all the most like powerful technology and everything else in the world. What do? They don't pay it. They send homeboy, right, or they send the information and they change it so that it was never FRUIT. We would never misrepresent. It is not history now. Let history show that it is FROOT and was forever and will always be. You can forget that whole judgment.
You're a time traveling attorney now. That's like your whole business is you're like, I got you. It would cost you this much in litigation. I'm going to hop in my machine. We're going to go back. We're going to change this at the, like, it's
that would be a dope Adult Swim show.
Actually, it's, do we actually
time traveling attorney at law?
We could actually create some like pretty cool shit with that, like using AI. Let's go. Right. So
but is that, I don't remember ever being FRUIT. Was that just an example, or is that a Mandela effect?
You don't remember that?
Fruit Loops?
How old are you? Are you like a 12-year-old with a beard?
I mean, fruit. Maybe it's like you're confusing Fruit of the Looms, or Fruit.
No,
that's a different one.
Well, that's another one. That.
Yeah, that one I know that one. I do remember the logo looking like that. How it's not today.
But
it's like the basket or whatever.
But again, when we're talking about ancient AI, right? So what I'm getting to is if we made these like changes to things that, because they have to be things that are pretty universal in order to kind of have like large impact. Things like the Lord's Prayer and the Constitution and the Pledge of Allegiance and these other things, right? If there was and I can't say this without ever doing my like very dramatic thing where I'm like, you guys, you got to think about it. If time travel will ever exist, it has always existed. Got to think about that one for a second. Okay, we can move right along. So
I don't know if I get behind that though, because
because you can't commit to anything. Maybe
hold on.
You just happen to know exactly the price.
Didn't you just say this guy was a time traveler? Okay, he was sent back by the company to come here so we could solve our argument right now to make people believe that it was FRUIT, because this is the only Fruit Loop that I've ever heard say it was FROOT the whole time.
What if Virus is my time traveling grandchild?
Oh my God. Are you Dustin's time travel? Wait, do you know about Dustin's time traveling grandson?
No, because you remember how I yelled at him? So like somebody was like trolling me for sure. Like my time traveling grandchild appeared on social media for a little while. And about like, oh, there's going to be earthquakes and like you need to pay attention to like these specific things that are coming up. I was like, motherfucker, you did no fucking blood of mine came back in time to deliver me like, oh my God, here's all the terrible things without bringing me what the Bitcoin fucking chart is going to do for a couple of years. Right? Like what the fuck? Yeah. No way you are fucking related to me.
That's my only ask.
Wait, hold on. Let's ask this Fruit Loop about the Chick-fil-A logo. Let's see what he's got to say about this one, too.
What's the Chick-fil-A one? So I lived in Georgia for a while, and so I've known about Chick-fil-A for a long time.
Ah, like 150 years a while?
What's the Chick-fil-A one? The cow's head, I remember.
How is Chick-fil-A spelled? How do you spell Chick-fil-A without looking at it?
CHIKFILA. CHIK.
He has he's from a different timeline than everyone.
He is definitely from a different universe, and he's paid to come back and try to dissuade us.
Or the Mandela effect, actually, actually like the weaponized memory implant technology is just really sticking with him, you know?
Wait. Maybe.
Wait. What do you guys remember it as? Is it? Actually, it's spelled.
Well, hold on. Jamie's gonna pull it up.
I always thought it was without
it's just
the
K.
I think
Well,
it
no,
used to be the first one. There was no freaking K in Chick-fil-A.
Seth, now I'm all confused. 'Cause
I
thought
remember it without the C, just the K, but the logo today, yeah, it does have a C.
Okay, but how about Looney Tunes? How do you spell Looney Tunes?
LOONEYTOONEY.
or
I have a
S.
question for you. When did Nelson Mandela die?
What was it? The 80s? No, it was wasn't it
Dude,
recently
he
actually?
is from
He was in
another
prison, right?
timeline.
Right, but all right.
No,
Listen,
yeah, I always thought he died but he went to prison, right? And he actually
yeah,
just recently died.
yep. Now
So the first story is that he died in prison. The second story is he became president of South Africa and died in like 2003, I think. Or no, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
2009, maybe.
I thought he died a long time ago, and then I was surprised. I'm like, wait, what? He just got out of prison?
no, it's like Bob Barker fucking dying every couple years. You know what I mean?
Richard
But
Simmons.
I don't. I listen. I don't want to go through all the Mandela effects because like it's a whole separate show, right? If we just like try to work through them all.
We don't have you here to talk about Mandela effects.
But this is what I'm getting at, which is there would be things that if you changed in history, right, could have dramatic shifts in the culture and right again, think about the Lord's Prayer. If we all had been repeating our whole lives that we need to forgive our please forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors instead of trespassers. Like we're all fucking out there fucking being illegal aliens and shit. So I tend to think that like what we're actually doing, and this again, Elon's taking control of everything, right? Like the communication channels, the everything app, the fucking satellites, like the hardware delivery. And when he made the Grok announcement, like Grok is going to fix our history for us, I was like, this is why we need a great library. But I started thinking about it, I was like, dude, this is why I should rewrite history and then fucking figure out a way that Elon can't come steal it so that Grok is the one who gets to choose. Game on, motherfucker.
How do you think that works? Do you think it's all time travel, or you think that it's like changing the code in the simulation?
So I don't think time is linear, right?
Okay.
And so I guess changing the code in the simulation is probably closer. So actually, Virus, did you play Sid Meier's Civilization?
The video game?
Yeah,
Or
the computer game.
Did
No,
that
I don't think
exist on
so.
your timeline?
I don't know if I've ever heard of it. Civilization?
Oh, you definitely a time travel psyoper for over here. Did anybody play
I
it?
play a lot of video games
Are
though,
you a
but
cyborg?
Did anybody play Civilization?
I mean, I didn't play it, but I know what game it is. My brother played it.
Oh,
think
man.
it
Yeah,
sounds-
same. I didn't play
Oh,
it. But
I
know what
did
game
play
it is.
this. I did play this.
I mean,
I'm a Sims girl, but I know
Oh my
what
god,
Civilization
yes!
is.
I can play Sims for hours. My
Yeah,
houses were
Sims
the
used to
best.
be cool.
Civilization is like, in my
fashionable.
opinion, one of the all-time great games. Obviously,
Yeah, it
Young
was one of the
Buster-
first of like before like the Empire one or whatever. This was like one of the first ones, right?
Sim
so
City.
I well, in SimCities, no. So I played Civilization all the way through like 4 or 5 times before I discovered that I could go in the back end of the code
Rosebud.
and give myself unlimited money, right? I could give myself like anything that I wanted to juice up. Like I could get into the actual source code and just like, for example, modify how fast like I accumulated money. So there was like, instead of getting it every 4 minutes, like I want it every second times 5. And it'd just be like, and then you'd have like, it became really easy to play the game, right? Because you had the cheat codes. What I'm saying is, however our history is written is what the history is. And so it would be like changing the source code. And I think it depends on how many of us recognize that as the understood history, like how often it's repeated. but then that becomes what actual history was, right? So like, even if the Civil War wasn't anything like what it's been fucking recorded on, it doesn't matter, because the Civil War now is what we remember it to be, because that's all that is recorded about it. Does that make, are you tracking with that at all?
Yeah.
Yep.
It changes by how much information is there at the time. And they almost say like humans being like humans on a small scale do this is, if I go back and replay a conversation we had, if I'm like, oh, we got into an argument, and I tell that story, every time I tell that story, I add energy that wasn't there to that thing. And now it really becomes a thing that never existed in the past. And that's kind of the same thing that's
Right,
happening
but
to
now
our
it does
history.
exist in the past.
Now
because
it does.
you
I've
gave
created
it
a fight.
life and power.
Yeah, it's
I
like
feel like
a
if you,
spell.
I feel like if you're thinking of, like you said, time's not linear and stuff like that. Like if you go back in time and change something, wouldn't it fork that dimension? Or you know what I mean? Like it would kind of make like a
Like
carbon copy
Back
of
to
it.
the
And
Future 2, alternate 1985.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I wonder if
like
they're gonna.
we would still exist the same or cease to exist, however you think about it. But it would be like a completely different. You know what I mean? Like if you change something, you know what I mean? Like it would make like a fork in that line.
So
creating a multiverse.
yeah, so
Yeah.
one, and listen, that's one of the like popular explanations of it, right? Which is that you have all these different forks, and like the timelines run right. Like we could go to Marvel and all that stuff for the multiverse, if you will. But we started talking about the World's Fairs, right? Now imagine if you changed some major things, right? Like maybe about, I don't know, parenting. And you needed to like, you went back and changed some shit. You would also have to include like rewrites that made it make sense how you went from how it was to like how it is after whatever change in the history you made. Assuming that you really understood your power to be able to, as Maria put in the comments, render as you go, right? To go back and accept, in order for it to be and make sense, and maybe this is like the time traveling cost, right? There would have to be some people who would write in like some fixes to make the storyline make sense and continue to work. And if there's anything that I think AI is, it's like the tool that allows us to manifest and make sure that we don't write contradictory stories on the generally accepted history, which is what Elon's fucking pushing on all of us right now. It's crazy. Maybe literally. I'm not
I
sure.
wonder if he's going to include Jesus in his new history.
It's got to, right?
Yeah, he's got to if he wants to be historically accurate.
You guys want to watch one of the World's Fair videos of like the incubator babies?
Yes.
It'd be crazy if he didn't.
And we do have to let Virus gloat.
This film is called The Over-Incubated Baby. Warning if you're sensitive to baby stuff. Okay, so if you weren't aware, at the World's Fairs, they would highlight this whole baby incubation thing where they would basically be putting the preemies out as an exhibit in this like new baby incubators. This film is called The Over-Incubated Baby, and it's from 1901, and it's a British film, something called a silent trick film. So as you can see, it's depicting a mother entrusting her infant to an incubator advertised to accelerate growth. In very strange advertisements, by the way. Due to an assistance error, the device overheats, transforming the baby into a bearded adult. Apparently, amidst all the horrible poverty they were enduring while they were building all these magnificent buildings, they had a real problem with premature babies. And this video is supposed to be like reflecting the public intrigue and skepticism towards neonatal care. This Cabbage Patch Fairy. And this woman like really manhandles these babies. That baby cannot be more than like 6 weeks old. And then she just lets him fall to the ground and he like rolls to the side. And then she grabs this other one and puts him down. And like nobody comes to get the baby. So it's like the parents aren't standing just offset, like waiting to come whisk the baby up. So this one is from the Paris Exposition. And so it's also a World's Fair thing.
Anyways, I won't make you guys sit through all of them. I didn't. I thought it was a different video where it was going to flash through a bunch of scenes that Jen was talking about.
What was that all about?
Well, what really bothers me, right, is the old photos that have the white skies. All the skies are whited out. And then there's
Vanilla
no
sky.
people in the photos of these towns. Right. So did you send out like, a Paul Revere that day to be like, yo, between 1 and 2, you need to stay inside your houses because we're taking aerial photos, but we don't have planes yet. So I guess we're doing it by hot air balloon, but there's no people in the photos. Right. Like there is, if you go and you look at the old history books, they talk about an advanced civilization that was here in America. And then all of a sudden that gets wiped from the history books. And it says that Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Now think about if there were airships in those Tartarian airships.
So let's listen. I want to run through because so many of these videos are so like looking back now are so fucking retarded that like with what we have available now, it's like, how did people ever fall for something so fucking stupid? Right. And one of my favorites now is the nuclear bomb test range videos. Right. And,
yeah. Really my favorite.
Right. I Mark Andreessen, I think on Rogan or one of the other podcasts, like did a phenomenal job annihilating it. But now you look at it, it's like, it's so obviously like fucking miniatures. Yeah. Right? They're just like, pow! And like none of it's like the moon landing. Like, oh, somehow Nixon was able to call, like, have a signal back and forth from the moon in the 1960s. Right?
Airships. I mean, airships.
It makes you wonder, like, how do they fall for it? But the resolution on, like, there's so many things, like, we don't know. Back then, like, the resolution on the TVs weren't as good. They weren't used to as good of graphics. So
Iris, when's the last time you watched the moon landing video?
The moon landing is bad. It's not as bad as the nuclear test ones that they put out during World War II.
Well, and who was filming these things? Like, if you're trying to tell me that this nuclear blast is going to destroy everything, vaporize it, nothing left, who's filming that?
No, the Chrysler building video. Actually, pull that one up, Cheney. The Chrysler building propaganda video.
Okay.
Wait, there's a Chrysler building propaganda.
Oh no! Wait till you watch this one, because when you watch it, you realize like, wait, because this also gets to like, did we really build this shit, or did we pull a Trump and be like, I read the Bible. It says that God parted the waters and installed the firmament, but they've been lying to the people. So like, I can't tell people they've been lied to. So what I'm going to say is, Golden Dome, the Trump Golden Dome. He's just literally taking credit for the firmament.
Well, you know what was really weird? So I went onto Facebook earlier randomly, and I'm scrolling through, and a certain Freemason that we know, the big poobah, okay? He's on Facebook putting out tweets being like, Tartaria is not real. You're all getting scammed, right? Except like he's never said that in a space. And I'm like, bro, are you trying to undo the Tartaria thing to the old grandmas? Because we've been telling the old grandmas about Tartaria, and now the whole shit's falling apart and y'all really don't want Tartaria exposed? Because I was like, dude, he's definitely sat in our spaces. I never said that.
No, and I mean, well, yes. Also, them going around just taking credit, like slapping a plaque up on like all the cool shit, be like, oh yeah, it's our super cool secret society that built this shit. Like, better be afraid of us. But I mean, I agree. Listen, I think it's brilliant of Trump. Right? Like, if we're gonna get disclosure, maybe sometime it's gonna have to be like, yes, I invented a new craft. We call it the Trump Plasma 5000. Right? Defies all current levels of physics. Right? That's how we learn about plasma. Trump takes credit for it as the like original inventor. I'm cool with that. I can live with that.
There has been so there's one truck I want to say that's named like Trump something that looks exactly like a cyber truck.
Trump truck.
Trump truck.
No, and I'm
They
sure we're
randomly
adding
called
new
it the Trump truck.
hieroglyphics all the time. So that there's a building just like Chrysler building fake Chrysler building video. There's a bunch of them. It's probably got 100 million views or something crazy. It was like a very popular one because it's so freaking accurate. All right, so why Cheney finds it? God damn it, Virus! You did it again. Like absolutely fucking pinpoint level accuracy on the call after the pro peace pump.
Yep.
All right, so where are we going now?
You're gonna get another opportunity. So we got to do a fractal. All we're doing is ranging right now. Like, yeah, there's different levels of momentum. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Are we done talking about this? I was kind of still on the time.
No.
travel. I wanted to like break
I
down
was
the
just
time
buying
travel.
time for Cheney to find the Chrysler.
Yeah,
video.
Oh, okay. So we'll do the stuff later if there's time. So yeah, we're just ranging right now. Like, you know, it'll deviate out of a range and then maybe rip back. If it does, usually it's going to bring it to the other side of the range. So we might put a new high in, but I'd be careful. We got the weekend coming up. More than likely, you're going to get another opportunity because it's going to have to fractal here. So you want to see a W. It'll do a higher low. So the next entry for Sol, it's probably going to come up. I mean, don't hold me to this. This could just rip the hell right out of here, right? Because we do have another, 24, 48 hours.
Do you want to
But
share
I
your
would
screen?
expect it. I would expect it to come back down to like 139 after going up to like 143, 144.
Wow, all the way down there.
Just a fractal. Let's see. Did it fractal yet?
I still think we're gonna rip back to the top at minimum the top of range. Which
You want to share your screen?
Yeah. Okay. We could jump into that. Sure.
Somebody dropped the link to the Chrysler building fake for Cheney in the comments. Like, Jesus, come on, people.
I know.
Blend
I
the
don't
whole
know
team
this
down.
one. It's like the one we all don't know. We're excited about the Chrysler building.
No, and how often am I the one who's like, wait, you haven't seen the Chrysler building propagate like crazy video? Like, this is my big moment, you guys.
I know. I didn't know about it.
All right, wait, are we looking at Sol or Bitcoin here?
That's Bitcoin, and we were also. I was looking at it, I'm like, oh shit, that's looks like it's gonna dump, but it was inverted. So.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so look at all. Okay.
Oh, I don't like that.
Let's take a moment to give the market makers some props here. Like, if I can pull up on
Is the market maker in the room with you right now?
Like, like you guys, when you look at these charts and like know, like every day is a battle, right? And if you know like how the market maker works, like we'll pull up Sol in a second. This entire move here, there was like no one buying Bitcoin here, but if you could look at it, how they were running it all the way from down here, the way that the market maker got up here at no cost to market maker, by the way, like they were making money the whole way up is maybe I got to go on the minute chart. Oh, it's too far in the past. But okay. So basically they will come up, they will put a short setup in to get everyone to go short on it. And the thing is that, degens, we're not going to wait for the short confirmation to where it actually breaks the low. So we go, oh, that's an M. It's got to be an M. It goes right to the point of it's like, oh, we're going to dump. And then, oh, never mind. And it rips up. And then what happens is when it's a short squeeze, when a short gets stopped out, that triggers a buy. So they were able to that's why every time it ripped up, those are people getting stopped out. And then they go, oh, never mind. And the market maker will rip it back down, pay themselves back for the cost that they did on pulling it up. So they were able to get from 105.7 all the way to 108.3 with like no one buying spot, which is crazy. So the market maker clearly wants to move up. The reason why that's important, I know I'm sorry for nerding out there.
No,
the market,
you're good.
The market maker wants to go up. That's very important here. And why? It's because of this. There
So,
is so
can you
much
show us on
up
this
top.
doll where the market maker touched you?
Well, I have to give him credit because I talk so much trash about market makers, but yeah, I mean the whales are really losing control here. There are whales. There's a lot of sell orders up here. Whales are trying to push it down to get cheaper Bitcoin, and the market makers are saying no, we're going up.
So
So
dude,
let's
there's
pull up the
so much
doll.
buy pressure right now. So, but by the way,
Yeah.
this is one of the coolest freaking stories that like I watched play out in real time. Right. So like I'm friends with Gary Cardone. And right, I've known Gary for several years. And right, his brother Grant is the one that everybody knows from like YouTube videos and 10x your life. Right. I like both the card, but they're twin brothers. And I knew Gary, who's the Bitcoin one. Right. And Grant's the real estate brother. And Gary, like, I've heard them like squabble like twin brothers about what's better, Bitcoin or real estate forever, right? For as long as I've known Gary and Grant. And in the last, I want to say like month, Grant has cut like full orange pilled. Like he's backing his real estate deals with Bitcoin now, right? Like, and the thing about Grant is he doesn't go halfway; he goes all in. So Gary finally wins the battle and brings his brother into Bitcoin, right? Well, then Bill Pulte, I want to say seriously, not even joking, like 4 days ago, quote tweets a post from Grant about his like Bitcoin real estate dealings, and says, "We're going to look into this." And then makes the announcement yesterday that Fannie and Freddie have been instructed to treat Bitcoin as an asset that can back mortgages.
Yep.
I literally watched that play out in real time, like writing.
I've tried to buy houses with crypto and they never let me. You used to have to actually have to withdraw it. If you really want to use crypto, you have to withdraw it and have it in a bank account for 3 months in US dollars. So you can't use crypto up until recently.
Well, you still can't, but and it still has to be on I'm pretty
Well,
sure
you can use it to
only Coinbase. Like you're
it has
only
to be
allowed
a
to have it
centralized
on
exchange.
Coinbase, so they
Yeah.
can verify and but dude, that's going to lead to all kinds of really cool stuff for us crypto nerds. All right, shout out to Lucy who dropped the Chrysler building thing.
I can't get it off the chat though.
All right, no worries.
But shout out to Lucy. She's rad. And if I do get it for you, we'll pull it up this show. If not, we'll have it ready for another show.
Yeah, no worries.
Solana could come down a little further, but I'm really happy where it came down. I mean, I know there are people out there.
Nailed it literally to the penny, but whatever.
Yeah. I had a limit order, dude. I fell asleep watching TV with my daughter, and woke up to this dump, and all my limit orders, high leverage too, limit orders triggered right there. Risking it for the biscuit because I had no stop loss on that.
Baby.
Yeah, but it could come down lower. I mean, there's really no reason now to come down too far, but you could see now all that liquidity. I mean, they made that thing look really, really dumpy. I know that there are people calling for Bitcoin new lows coming in and stuff like that. And is it possible? Sure. I just don't see, we were down at 97K when there was a threat of World War III. There's no threat of World War III right now. If for Bitcoin to get back down under 102K, there needs to be reintroduced threat at that level on the table. Right. Wartime threat, World War III threat Bitcoin is just under 100K.
No,
so
I listen, we got the old psychological switcheroo too.
Yeah.
Right. So on the charts, I mean, we all know this is the quote unquote fake out. And it's what you just explained the market makers did to move it up, right? Oh my God, we're going down. Oh, just kidding. Just wrecked your short.
And what sucks is these people that are doing that, they're going to be doing this the whole rest of the bull run.
But dude, Trump just market made, market made the war machine chart to rob them of all their war profits. Oh, look, you guys, we're totally going to have World War III. Just kidding. Everybody's gonna have peace. And like today, we're gonna announce that Saudi and the other countries joined the Syria. Was it Saudi and Syria joined the Abraham Accords?
I'm not sure.
So it is what it is. Like, I'm with you, man. I'm like, the only thing we're going. So, did you guys know that like it's almost 4th of July? Like,
Yep.
what the fuck? Could somebody let me know like what the date is? Because like, I'm not even joking. Somebody's like, oh yeah, next week is 4th of July. I'm like, what? What'd you say to me?
Bitcoin tends to have pumps too, right? Crypto, the market usually does good right before 4th of July.
Does it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
My general sense, like my memories, and maybe it's just because it's always traumatic, but like I assume that they are going to liquidate me on holidays because I'm not watching my phone as closely.
yeah. Yeah, like you got to have a stop loss, and sometimes you got to get licked just a tad, and it sucks. But there are always entries. I mean, are you in a high leverage or is it low leverage?
No, I don't know. Very low leverage, not very big because I'm busy
Yeah,
with other
okay.
shit. But I will say that because of your analysis on Monday, like I made sure that my stop loss, like I had a $5 cushion under 137. So that was
Hell yeah,
immensely helpful.
hell yeah, yeah. I mean, I got high leverage that I just entered, but I mean, I have no stop loss on that. That one, I'm just
Oh yeah, dude, we're going
that's
right
a
to it.
gamble.
Now it's going to fulfill my part of the prophecy, and we're going to go straight to 180 or whatever I said. I think I said we're going to 158. Oh,
Yeah,
we got it. Let's fucking go.
All right. Let's see.
Watch how
Is there
fake this
sound?
is.
I can't hear it if there's sound.
Yeah, there's no
No?
sound, Jeannie.
All right. I'll definitely have to do it next time.
Yeah, let's do
for
it
some
next time.
reason. All right.
Let's not worry about it.
All right.
But
Thank
yeah,
you
I mean,
guys.
listen, the trenches seem dead as fuck right now. People like literally everybody's gotten their like liquidity drained. Everybody's broke. There's no extra like
Exactly.
there ain't shit running out of the trenches.
The
right
money that was out there, they came in, they bought the wrong tokens, they got wrecked. There'll be another wave, but I think like this cycle, you've said it over and over. You got to be really careful about what you pick. Everything's not going to run. You got to really like, I don't know, do your research or just buy Solana and you'll be good.
Or just watch our
Not
show.
financial advice, or
Right?
just watch our show. Exactly.
Dude, to be honest with you, Virus, like we should charge these motherfuckers for how accurate our like. You know how many times we've
It's
nailed
scary accurate.
within $100, like the price action, like where the turning points were going to be.
Yeah, and you know what? I wish I listened to myself more because I get it's so easy. You get excited ahead of time. Like I know my target's over there. Like I should be waiting, but then like on the way down, I'm like, oh, but it looks so juicy right now, and you jump in, and then you get stopped out at break even because
out.
yeah, it rips, but then it comes back down.
But what I'm saying, especially when me and you are both like simpatico,
Yeah,
that dude, y'all should be printing. Not gonna lie.
yeah. When you and I are aligned, I'm pretty sure we're knock on wood like 100% track record. When you and I say the same thing.
Yeah, no, because we have dramatically different like trading.
Yeah,
like, we take in dramatically different information to come to our conclusions. So when they're both aligned, especially when they're like really, really aligned, that's some scary shit. No, and Maria just put Hero Dawn, Matador, Bull Run. Just gonna say, Mr. President, like please send everybody like $20,000 in Trump stable coin that right that they can start rotating. So right, like all that liquidity that you drained with the Trump token. Like just give everybody, like all the people, like maybe 10, 20 G's and
it'd be nice.
Like pump our projects back up. It'd be fun. Hook it up, bro.
Yeah, get Solana, get the liquidity back in Solana for real.
We
yeah,
do.
It's those are the best times to buy. I mean, you and I, we've been in this game for a while. The times that everyone's scared, where everyone are freaking out. Like I flip bearish way too quickly when everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to the moon," blah blah blah. Like you guys, bust my chops all the time for that, just because I get when people are bullish, that scares me. Like I don't sleep well. I sleep so well when people are bearish and they're like, "Oh, we're going to zero, we're going down, World War III." I'm like hell yeah, like the market's scared.
Pump it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the time to be looking for opportunity.
That
And
war pump.
that warp, guys. Like COVID was the biggest opportunity for all of us. I mean, in crypto, anyone that bought that dip.
But that's what I'm saying. Trump, listen, bro. 10 days of darkness, but give everybody the internet, but only let them access like trading crypto. And then give them each like 10, 20K and we'll be good.
We just need quantitative easing. I mean, the bill is good. Remove quantitative tightening, lower interest rates, and we'll get people back into.
I'm okay if
risk
Trump
on
gives
assets.
everybody digital currency. He just has to give them the option of check. And I won't be scared about the digital currency he gives everyone for free.
Just as long as it's not programmable, right? Like,
yeah.
The danger is Trump's like, oh, 10 days of pump fun. I fucking love that. Let's right. Trademarked. I called it. Maria, you can't have it.
Can you imagine if they give out everyone Trump?
She just launched it.
Yeah,
she just launched it. We're all buy.
Right? Like no, but seriously, like that kind of stimmy is like what the trenches need to come back alive.
Dude, if you get airdrop Trump and in your wallet, sell immediately, because that's like if everyone has,
it won't be Trump though. It'll be a stable.
It needs to be stable.
What we need to we need to make sure is that it's not, you have to spend it. I mean, it'd be cool, right? Don't get me wrong. Like they have to spend it within like a month. Like no hoarding, people. We're stimulating the economy here. So if you don't spend it, it disappears out of your wallet. Because like, dude, you want to talk about watching our crazy batshit projects go crazy. Like just feed all of all of retail money again. And like, that's what we're waiting for, to have the kind of like crazy rips that we've been looking for. But the other part, I will say this. So, cause we were talking about AI, there's something about leaving sigils, monuments, and I don't know, statues. So I'll give everybody a little hint. I got a picture yesterday of exactly where the Trump statue is going at Trump Doral. And I got news that they're building a pavilion to go with it. So people can come and pay their respects to the Patriot statue.
Are there any plans for them to is it when they put it in, is it going to stay there, or are they planning to, because that thing could go mobile. Like, is it going to be put there on a platform that they're still able to remove when they want and use it on that? Like,
it has the ability to move if there was I don't know, maybe a World Fair or something that made sense to bring it to. Maybe I don't know. I'm not committing it to anything. Right. But now, and
how funny if like Trump starts taking that on like when he goes to like big events, he like, all right, bring my statue, pack it up.
Oh, if I wonder if there's anyone we know who's associated with the project who has previously organized traveling tours for President Trump. If only I could think.
Yeah, and you actually toured the whole country with that statue, right?
No,
at least part of it.
No, the statue's never been toured, but we did do the March for Trump and have organized nationwide.
Oh, so that was just a truck, like a Trump truck?
We had big tour buses.
It was like a converted tour bus, and it was wrapped with President Trump all over the side of
it. Got it. So I must have confused that with like you trailing the statue.
No,
I could totally see you doing that though.
Oh no,
well, that was the plan.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and the actual like engineering of the statue is really cool because it's engineered so that we can like haul it around and it's got like out of the feet, it's got like long like metal rods coming down, and then the blocks, like the concrete block, has like inserts, which is like what makes it resistant to wind and like other things that might knock it over.
That's sick.
Like engineering wise, it's actually like a mind-boggling, like genius piece of engineering, like for real.
Here,
What's it made out of?
Bronze.
The whole even inside, like the whole interior and exterior?
It's poured bronze.
Okay, got it.
Steel frame, steel frame.
What is so
So
bronze?
you realize this thing is 2 stories tall.
Oh
right?
yeah. No, I've seen this video. What's stronger? Steel's stronger than bronze, right?
Yeah, but steel's not gold.
No, it's not.
No,
gold,
I know.
We're talking about Donald Trump here.
Nerd
I don't give a shit if it's Donald Trump. It's not gold. It's bronze.
I'm in my
Love
mind. I'm
Trump,
thinking. I'm like,
but not enough
so
for a gold statue. Okay, we've read
statue's
that
gotta be
that doesn't
top-heavy.
end well.
the thing's got to be top heavy.
It's
So
still
I'm
gold
in my
in
mind.
color.
I'm thinking. I'm like, what does that material need to be for the engineering, right? For it to be able to withstand the wind off of just those pegs coming out from below the feet, right?
No, it's brilliantly like executed, like the
Yeah.
engineering on it, and like, dude, I'm so eager to like get that freaking done. Like I had to block another like, and I'm probably being too mean, but like some of these patriot people will spam my comments on non-patriot shit. Be like, why are you talking about patriot? I would literally just like, what the fuck have you done? I've delivered like all of the highest profile people on the right wing and in the media and news articles and an event with the president at one of his golf courses where the Trump will be unveiled. What have you fucking done to act like you get to tell me what to fucking get your fucking ass out of here? Block, 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 block. That's how you end up.
My wife is texting me saying that I'm yelling. Am I yelling into the mic?
No,
Sorry.
I think you sound
No,
good.
no, you're good.
That's awesome.
Probably hearing like, fuck is wrong
She's
with that guy?
producing from the other room. You sound a bit aggressive today on the podcast.
Yeah.
You need to take it down a notch.
She's supposed to be sleeping.
Dustin was telling me I'm bloating again, bastard. Did nail it though. Like seriously, the virus, like, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
seriously
Cheney,
nailed it.
you saw that. What is this at even 5:50? So like hours before, I gave the cents. So I said 137.42.
Crushed it. Like
You're
crushed
getting
it.
precise. Make sure if you guys are following Virus on X and everywhere.
No, I mean if you could figure out if getting really amazing technical analysis and pinpoint places where the chart might turn could be useful to you, yeah, you probably drop Virus a fuck. Dude, this heater's been going too. Like we're like 6 months into just absolutely smashing like our calls on the charts.
Yeah.
So, all right, listen, I believe I still have work calls. I've been taking calls from other sides of the world. So I've been doing the day and night calls thing. So like tonight, for like, I have calls starting at midnight Eastern. I'm like, bleh.
I know
Oh,
Dustin says he's busy, but he's so busy.
oh, hello. Yes.
Like he's so busy. I feel like it's just getting busier. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of stuff.
People really don't realize, right? Until they see it, and then I make it look so easy that people are like, "Did you really do anything at all?" I'm just like, yeah, no, not really. I just coast my way into all these cool things.
Dude, that debate was really, really interesting yesterday.
No,
I
actually, I owe you a thank you on that too. So like,
that was perf.
And shout out to Kyle for holding it down with me. Well, like, I tried to recruit somebody who had a little bit more like technical knowledge of Soul, right? Like I was gonna wear the Pit Vipers and represent Team Meme Coin, but I wanted like one of the like Soul Wizards to be be able to lay out like the fucking transaction rates and how the chain is growing and all this other stuff. And like my guy canceled last minute, or he got the time zones mixed up. So you dropping a couple things really helped me, right? Like in honestly the most hostile possible environment to be like,
yeah.
Oh, you know what? Mr. Bitcoin, actually, I shouldn't say this because like I'm supposed to do the whole like WWE thing and like pick a fight with Joe, like Joe Carlos, right? Who honestly is like one of the best fucking lawyers and communicators I know. And like, thankfully, he had a hearing go late and did show up. But Dark Side plus Joe was going to be an absolutely brutal, like, murderer's row. Try to like fight through on that thing. He wasn't there, so we're gonna do another debate. We're actually
What was hard
very,
about this one
very
is
serious about this.
this was 4+ year hold. That kind of changes the like the debate topics as well. But no, it was interesting. He was good too. The guy,
Dark Side.
the Bitcoin
Yeah.
one.
Dark Side's amazing. Like, if you haven't listened to like Dark Side and Puncher and Gary and Fred and all those guys, Thomas, they literally like talk Bitcoin all day, every day.
Yeah, dude, the comments were hilarious. They were like, "Who's that bum in the sunglasses?"
Yeah. What's funny though is somebody has, right? The first couple times we've tried to do debates in Gary Spaces, it'd be like this. Yeah, I want to debate against somebody, and Bitcoin's awesome. It's like, who the fuck's gonna take the opposite side of Bitcoin's awesome as your like resolution, right? Like in a room full of like Bitcoin maxis. It doesn't. So I knew in order to like push the like format forward, somebody had to step up and be like, you know what? Like I'll take the beating on this one. I really do believe that Solana is a great 4-year investment. It's not going anywhere in 4 years, right? Like,
Which one, Sol? You said?
yeah, Sol's not going.
Yeah, Solana.
Like, fucking
Trump. Yeah, I mean, really though, the
Trump's
question is like
president.
over the
Sol's
next
still
6
fucking
months.
legitimate. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also
And
didn't
especially
know
over the
we had
next
to do
6
the 4-year
months.
thing. So,
Dude, we're not even in quantitative easing. This is not financial advice. Still everything in crypto is risky, whatever, right? That whole thing. But if you're looking at these, Solana is at 137. Like, that's still, if we're just going to get to the all-time high, which it hit earlier in the season, that's 2x, right? And that's like within this bull run. That's the crazy thing, that like it's pulled down. So, and we're still in QT. We haven't ended QT yet.
Yeah,
We're like in July. There's possibility in July that we're going to get lower interest rates. If that happens, more than likely, we're going to hear something about the end of QT. If we hear about the end of QT, and we don't want them talking about starting QE or whatever. We want them to leave that in, like, people speculating on that, because if we're just ending QT,
want Trump send people their crypto. They all need stable coin.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, but seriously, if they just do the QE,
let's go.
That'll inject, because that's still like printing in a way. It's like that'll open up a lot of like risk on asset investments.
Nah, dude, I'm so bullish. And by the way, for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure that like Satan has a bot army that spams everybody with comments like, "What about XRP?" Oh, so you love Satan, do you? Right? Oh, so you want to put us under the thumb of global dominance and central bank digital currencies. I see you, motherfuckers. Not really. I know most of you just think. Here's the deal: if it really was the big thing for like the big established power players, they won't let you get any of it. And just so you know, and if you don't know about the XRP split, right? So like what XRP through the system, right? They had their public ledger, which was great tech. And then they got sued, right? The SEC singled them out, and now they have a backdoor ledger for what they call wholesale, which is a whole separate ledger, so that certain your shit is public, but there's some people that just can't be public. You know how that goes.
No way.
Yeah. No, and if you read the International Monetary Fund, so there's a International Monetary Fund white paper on central bank digital currencies. That's actually exactly what the title of it is.
Meme coins are the new NFTs, real ride or die.
Actually, well, I can't give it away, but I think that there's going to be, let's just
There'll
say,
be some NFTs. Well, that Kyle's project is really cool. I think that has the Bitcoin NFTs. I think those have opportunities to cycle.
you know,
Runes.
I didn't get it at first.
What NFTs or?
So the first time, so Kyle's partner in that is a guy named Antoine. He's like Austrian or something, right? Crazy smart dude, like literally like super giga genius, right?
I was going to ask, whoever designed that had to have known a good deal about the blockchain.
The first
to
like
develop that.
4 times he explained it to me, I didn't get it. And then I was in a space with Gary and Darkside and a couple other people, and they were talking about how in order for the Bitcoin miners to solve the problems to mine Bitcoin, as that gets more and more complicated, the cost of block space has to reflect those costs, right? Especially as they add the taproot, right? As they start, if they actually start building shit so that you can move stuff around with Bitcoin fast.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the way that the block space, right? Because there's less and less token like Bitcoin that can be mined in exchange for solving the problems. Dude, block space is actually like one of the most insanely valuable things that you can fucking buy right now. Right? Like having block space on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? It's the most durable and permanent like ledger of things, right? We say store of value, but it's also like because the network is so durable, it's also like great store of information, great store of history,
Yeah.
great store of
I like how this one, like that, there's a lot of unique stuff about this collection. Like this is on chain. This isn't an AWS, which every other L2, like the NFTs are usually on AWS somewhere. They're not
or
actually.
IFDS.
Yeah, it's like a link. Like the NFT is like a link to the image. It's stored on something else, but this is on chain. And you said so. I don't know if I'd follow this, but you said something the other day that on chain it actually shows, like you see, like it pissed the Bitcoin maxis off because you actually see like
No, if
a
you look,
picture of Pepe.
if they're for weeks,
I used to have
the
it.
mempool, right? There's all these little files that people have like
Yeah.
put in, and it's just like,
Dude, that's so like
huge retard Pepe coming, like tuxedo Pepe coming in, like the
think about it though. That's
gentlemen
like
are taking over.
that touches on the degen troll side of like the old school crypto space, like the like Doge. You know, people think that Doge is made as like a playful, funny meme. It's someone actually mentioned on the debate. It was the fun side of crypto. It was designed to make fun of Bitcoin. It was trolling Bitcoin directly. It was released to point out how stupid crypto was. Like the design, the person that launched it, the creator, they did it as a joke to point out how stupid Bitcoin is. And then of course, and then the main seat, one of them held Doge, and then the other one, there were 2 guys.
Yep. But the thing about Doge that I love is that they tried to make it the worst token that they could think of, right? Like hyperinflationary, right? Like ridiculous, like just stupid, funny branding.
Yep.
But what they accidentally did is stumbled onto a use case.
A
right?
whole
So
thing.
like the thing about Doge is it to me, it is the ultimate like micro tipping utility.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about like you don't want.
So wait, all of these are the NFTs. These.
I wanted to, yeah. So
this
is actually the Bitcoin blockchain right now, and this is how the information moves. And it kind of, in the same way your computer defrags, it tries to be the smartest with the moving the information as it can be. So when Kyle's degens are coming through on this chain, every single detail, you see every single tiny dot, and then how there's big squares. Kyle's degens take up an entire block clean as a picture. So every single thing I just showed you on Magic Eden right now, when we're looking at this, it's like I would say probably 3/5 of the screen is one of the degens coming through the chain.
I actually, so I know somehow fucking Antoine crazy figured out a way to like even cheapen further, because the collection is going to be by far the largest by size collection in ordinals or runes.
They're a half terabyte away right now from the largest collection.
Right. And they're going all the way to 10,000. I think we're at like 3,000 or 35.
Are these big blocks? Are those the NFTs?
So they might
Not
be.
his,
no,
but
no,
some.
no, no. They might be because Antoine figured out some way to like dramatically lower the
Yeah,
cost
they're
to get them
like
through.
larger. They're
But-
3 gig storage.
But before,
That's them probably then.
yeah, no, but before it was like it'd be this, and then all of a sudden there'd just be a giant Pepe in a tuxedo, like taking over the whole thing, like just frog stomping the whole thing.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's super cool. And the other thing, like Dustin, you were talking about real estate earlier tonight. And, because you guys are such digital guys, it's like this is real estate on the blockchain. Every other thing that you buy, they're trying to shove all the information into the tiniest particle so that even if the value of the thing leaves, you still own that tiny particle of information. Whereas Kyle's, you own an entire block. What you put on there could be whatever later on, but it's yours.
Right.
And so digital real estate, I don't know. It's so wild.
Think about it, like the Bitcoin revolution, right? This moment, this world changing technology in history, right? The selling points on it, right? It's the laws of thermodynamics, the durability, right? It's indestructible. It can survive nuclear like war and fucking all of it, right? Yet, why hasn't it? I can't believe it took me so long to realize that storing something on the indestructible chain that is like all of the largest company, like hyper Bitcoinization that we're going through. Dude, of course, if you own big chunks of space on like the revolutionary chain that changed the whole fucking world, of course the value of that is only going to go up over time. And as the creation of more space requires more energy, more money, and it's more competitive to get it.
And it's going to get half the size as every year goes on that you'll end up buying from this area to put your NFT on. You'll be fragments of this. So this is an entire block that you own with the art as well. It's so bullish. I love it.
You know what I love, Cheney? So like your people, when we're talking conspiracy, are all about it. But you know what I love is that it's not that they stop commenting. They just pretend like they're not listening to us and like
they aren't
talking to each other.
Yeah, they're totally.
It's like Jen, right? Like, the nerds are talking about their cryptos again.
Jen's probably hanging out in the chat, chatting with them.
Right, living the dream. But no, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys absolutely holding it down. Like, Chad, I love when you bring your people in. Cheney's got the most lit chat anywhere.
They're so rad. And they're so smart. Like they are the chat that it doesn't matter if you're talking about Tataria or time travel or Genesis in the Bible. You pick the thing, you can actually say to my chat, all right, you guys, and the Tataria of it all, I was thinking about the Tower of Babel being a software like hard drive. You don't need to explain Tataria to them. Yeah. And that's what I kind of like.
Well, I also love too, like that. Listen, they got some edges, right? RGZ out there, like lay into you a little bit, right? Like, listen, somebody's got to keep us motherfucking honest. I love that they're still not listening. Like, even me praising them, like, wait, did they stop talking nerd talk about crypto yet? Wait, was he talking about us? What the fuck?
And they're part of the chat that also we do a conspiracy show with the Secret Society of Good Guys. And on Sundays, we would just have ladies night sometimes. And the conspiracies go all into our ovaries. Like every time childbirth and ovary. And so like Riggs and Ryan, like there's a couple of guys that they really tough it out through some tough conversations.
But conspiracies about ovaries?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
The
no,
kid-
don't-
it all
do
starts
not
at
take the
child.
bait.
I don't want to
Damn it,
trigger it.
Violet.
So
Oh,
anyways, yeah. So they've sat through some crazy
no.
conversations that they humor a lot, or just impromptu song, or so yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
listen. I'm having so much fun. We got some big stuff coming too. Like next couple weeks, bigger guests, bigger people, like added features to the show that I'm pretty excited about. Check out listen. I think I did all right. Like, not gonna lie, dude. I took Soul against Bitcoin and with a Bitcoin moderator and debater, and held it.
Yeah,
down.
you guys did good. You lost when Kyle put the Bitcoin hat on. It was like,
Wait, did you hear me interrupt him at one point? At one point, because Kyle's supposed to be on my fucking team, right?
yeah.
And the thing is, he likes to do the virus. Like, we'll just call it the virus, where he's like,
It's gonna go
I
up or
get
it might
I
go
get
down.
but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
halfway through the argument, and then he starts like being like, but
You got to relate
Bitcoin-
to him.
But Bitcoin's cooler than, and I was like, motherfucker, do not make their argument. Like, what team are you fucking on, Kyle? Killing me, Smalls. But actually, some debate ideas I've been trying to think of. I think we bring back, like, I'm gonna try to get one of the like retard pro COVID doctors, and maybe like a retard pro mask person, and bring them to like let us shred some of these people.
Dude,
who
you
still
got to do Solana
advocate
and
that.
Ethereum. You got to go after Ethereum.
I think there's going to be definitely an Ethereum, like a Sol Ethereum, or probably even maybe the XRP idiots will give some time to. But I've been in touch with Mayor Adams and the Zohan, and there is a really good chance that either in space or on this show, we are going to host a New York mayoral debate.
Really?
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Can you imagine what trip that would be? They're like, welcome to Tinfoil and Tokens. In this corner, we have Eric Adams. Right? Right? And in this corner, we have the fighting jihadi commie. Go ahead.
Did you think we'd end up on the timeline that we were like, come on, Eric Adams. Come on, Eric Adams. What timeline is this?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, actually, I've met. So Eric Adams, I met at the inauguration. Me and Jen met at the inauguration, and then again, like he's been really going hard lobbying Trump World, which is how I have access. And then there's another crew from like my political world, big reach, big like homies that might be dipping their toe into meme coins around 4th of July. So we'll probably do a show for them or bring them on next week sometime, assuming that they get the token across the finish line. And listen, let's pump it up. I actually think about how fast this war just did not, like, we went like, oh, we're just bombing the shit out, like, oh my god, the fucking sky is falling, chicken little bullshit. And like now we're going into World Fair, like Trump World Fair time. And I have a feeling, unlike Rockefeller World Fair, we're actually,
I could talk about how like this is so scripted because of blah blah blah, but I definitely don't want to discredit like the amazing shift on like Trump's side. Like what he was able to pull off with these two countries, like, I think that there's still a little bit of uncertainty, but like we're closer to the end of it than we've ever been. So, I mean, that's huge.
yeah, no, and listen, all I wanted was that no new forever war.
What about Trump dropping the F-bomb? You
Oh,
see that?
dude, I fucking love Trump. You know who
They
else is
don't know
throwing
what the
at me
fuck
that
they're
like
doing.
really?
I thought it was AI.
You know what psyop's fucking working on me? The JD Vance psyop.
I think JD Vance is central casting.
Yeah, no, dude, I can't. So when he ran for Senate in Ohio, I went so hard against that motherfucker, even when he was the Republican candidate, because I was like, oh, Mr. CNN and Peter Thiel's Palantir, like, oh, now he's all of a sudden super MAGA guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and so I have my, let's just say, suspicions about certain things, but that dude is so fucking hilarious. Like, right? Like
He's gotten so handsome too. He was so dopey looking 3 years ago, 4
he was
years
like
ago.
a pudgy fat softy.
Now he's handsome.
I know, he looks like me.
He's based. Like, and he used to not be.
Wait,
That Vance meme coin is hilarious.
In my intro video, there's one of them that I'm like, that kind of looks like JD Vance more than me in my fucking own intro video. But does he hug a bear? Because I hug or a lion. I fucking hug a lion. Right?
You're like,
he
I'm
is
not even
funny.
scared of it.
He was telling the story of like Trump pushing the red button in the office.
Yeah, and
the other day, and
it's for the Diet Coke instead of nuclear. But like, plus and this is what Cheney's saying with central casting. We've heard versions of the Diet Coke button story like 8 times. So like him pretending like he's surprised this, like that Trump was like, hits the red button. He's like, oh my God, this is all. We've heard that like versions of
it's
that.
a joke that's hit before, so he reuses it.
Yeah, like the first time he came into Oval Office, like, right? You have to be like crazy level nerdy. Like you have to have watched the Trump rallies that weren't broadcast anywhere else. So you had to like go find and actually watch them all the way through to like follow along.
To know that, yeah.
And also have enough memory strength to retain like what you were listening to, which probably is not a high percentage of people, which is why they could get away with shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like how many people watch all the Trump rallies and have good memory outside of me and Jen?
Me, but I'm a freaking weirdo.
Again, I'm being mean, but like there
aren't a lot.
But it's definitely not like, right. Vance can tell that story, even though we've heard other versions of it, like 4 or 5 times. And like, you know, he's really grown into this role he's in. Oh God, central casting.
I just think the thing with the central casting is every single person, whether it's Elon, whether it's Biden, whether it's JD Vance, whether maybe even Tulsi. I think there's a whole bunch of people that I would question if they're central casting, and they just seem to get a little better looking, a little more fit, a little more like chiseled jaw. And that to me would just be what happens if a agent, they would be better in shape. So and they would be taller, like a Navy SEAL putting on a JD Vance mask. All of a sudden that double chin's gone.
So Dust, actually, Kim Clement has a prophecy about this. And in Kim Clement's prophecy, it says that Trump's number 2, right, the second guy, is going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like deceive him halfway through the second term.
Interesting. I thought I've heard that applied to Pence though. Like, isn't it a gray area? I don't think it's that clear.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that all of his other prophecies weren't about 2020. They were about 2025, 2024. Right?
Oh, by the way,
him prophesizing about Trump getting shot and all of that.
By the way, Iblis brought up Ian Carroll. Talked to Ian. He's going to be doing the show again now that he's done filling in for Candace. It'd be nice to have Ian rejoin the show.
It's been a while.
I'm excited to get him back. I miss Ian.
It's been a while since he's been on his secret Fed ops.
Right.
Was he on the panel, or was it, you guys did like a 1-to-1?
Yeah.
Discussion,
So
right?
so we did the interview, and then he's got an intro video, and right, but then Candace was having her baby, so he went to like go like he was the stand-in for Candace, and
That's crazy.
He's been a little busy handling holding that down, but it sounds like he's going to be available again and start doing the show with us. So
cool,
excited, fucking love Ian, and man, it's about to just, you guys don't even know, the Tinfoil and Tokens takeover is in full effect, and I've already rewritten the history, right? So we already won, and you guys don't even know it yet. All right, any virus, dude, you fucking nailed again. Thank you, bro. Like really.
Well, we got to break the high to be confirmed, but yeah, it's looking good so far.
No,
yeah,
listen.
That was.
All you have to do is know where it's gonna like at least rebound off of, in order to like it. Honestly, it takes trading from being like white knuckling to like, oh shit, like I was wrong because I thought we were gonna keep going up. It's like, well, if we're coming down, I know that virus pegged it at like 137.5. And so like I'm definitely not selling at 137.8 before, right, we test like whatever number virus gave me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, this whole area, everything's holding where we want it to hold. Like
we're back up over 141. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
All right. Good looking. You got anything for us?
No, I'm good, babe. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheney, freaking rock star. What do you got for us? Take us out.
If you guys want to hang out, you should follow everyone. Make sure if you're new to X, there are spaces that run, so you can kind of have these conversations all the time. And you might just be into financial, you might be into political, you might be into conspiratorial. So you should follow everyone on the stage, or that's ever on Tinfoil and Tokens, and come join us on X, because look at you guys all brilliant in the chat room. You'd be blowing our mind somewhere. So hit the thumbs up on your way out, and we love you.
Preach. See you guys. We'll see you on Monday, or unless we do a special show sometime between then. Let's go.
I hope you got your hat tenfold. You know we got your back tenfold. We keep our eyes on the streets tenfold, and our ears to these beats tenfold. Hat, conspiracies strapped tenfold. Hat, tenfold hat, tenfold hat, tenfold hat. Bet you listen well, I could tell you not about it. Back up in my bag so I can say the evil coming out. Exorcise the demon, make it go up in the heads of the congressmen committing treason. Take a look at scientists lying for no fucking reason. Now they got me looking, swear I left it on the fucking shelf. I know